He's coming.
Here they come. Here he is. There it is. He got the Letterman jacket, the Michigan State Keller on the way.
I love it. Him and K.J. Osborn, who's like really one of the most underrated receivers in football. That's going to be great to talk to him. So everybody get out there.
Is all aflutter.
If you're a Lions fan or you're a Bears fan, get out your garbage ready puke for Vikings.
Well, I don't know. They may be trying to recruit him.
The Vikings,
for that part.
Yeah, because you're going to gush just
if
constantly.
He's a Viking next year. I don't know.
Here he
comes. Up the stairs with K.J. Osborn. Vikings receiver and Vikings quarterback.
Florio,
and walking. He's walking very well. Man, he's looking good. He's looking healed. Hey, Kirk, how are you, man? Good to see you. KJ, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. All right.
I know,
This is awesome.
Right.
All right. Here we go.
Hey, we're doing a show.
You're moving well. Right? You're looking good.
We got wings. We got bounty.
You look better in purple than green,
leather jackets.
Let me just tell you, you look better in purple than green.
Wow.
I just want to get that out of the way.
I like that.
Green is good, but purple is better.
I want to get something out of the way.
Yeah, let's go, Chris.
Okay?
Let's go.
I mean, do you know what's happened in the world?
He's changed his tune.
What?
Yes.
Like the world's changing.
Changed his tune. What is going
People
on?
can love. Like
well,
we can change. He likes you. He wants.
I recognize greatness.
I don't know what's happening.
I witnessed greatness.
He wants them to open up the Brinks truck for you and just give you whatever
I'm ready
you want.
to chip in. I'm ready to write a check, baby. I got money.
KJ, you don't understand. This
I want KJ
like,
to stay too.
Yeah, no doubt.
This was like I love him.
Uh-huh.
1 week it'd be like Kurt's the greatest thing we've ever seen. He's amazing. The next week it'd be like, I think we should get a new quarterback in Minnesota.
I never said that.
Now he's all in on him.
Maybe I did.
But thank you for being here, guys.
The night I got, listen, I travel home from New York every Monday. Week 7, I get home. And it's like, the Vikings are playing the 40s tonight. Oh, God, this is going to be awful. Oh, my God, I can't believe it. My son was all excited because my son, all in, Vikings all the time. And he's like, come on, it'll be fun. Let's, so we get some food and we start watching it. And it's like, oh, my God. I mean, that was the best game of your career, I think.
It was a lot of fun.
It was incredible. And it was, I think, the culmination of working with Kevin O'Connell. He told us this last February, the same voice in your ear all the time. It gets to a point where it just all merges together. And I think that was the explosion of it that night. It really was incredible. And it was a damn shame. I mean, my heart just sunk all the way down to my intestines when you had the injury 6 days later. Because I thought you were right at the pinnacle.
Yeah, we were an ascending football team. And even KJ that game, I felt like, with Justin out, KJ was taking on a bigger role. And it just felt like we're finding something here. We're an ascending team. And then obviously I didn't get to be a part of it after that. And that's the way the NFL works. You guys live it. You never know what the next weekend's going to bring, which is why there's so much excitement Sunday to Sunday and so much excitement for this Sunday because you just don't know what's coming.
Yeah, right. No doubt about it. Like
so, KJ, what do we got to do? Yeah. What do we got to do to work this out so we keep both of you
He's
guys in Minnesota?
GM,
what can we do?
He's making you the GM.
That's above me, man. That's above me. Like I said, I did my work, so that's on them.
Right. Yeah, that is kind of our attitude is we do have a lot of work to do between September and February. And then when it gets to February and March, now we kind of are passive, and it's like, all right, we hired an agent. The team has their role. Let's just see what happens. And we kind of become like everybody else.
Yeah, just kind of sit back and be bystanders, right?
Man, because our work's done.
But, you got to think a little bit like we got something going here.
No doubt.
Like, we don't want to break this up, right?
Oh, no doubt. I think, like I said, we're an ascending football team and a locker room that you like being around, players you like playing with.
Right.
I'm sure a lot of teams would say that probably because you build relationships and you love the people you know. But the reality of the NFL is you just don't know.
Yeah,
you don't know what happens.
Right. Well, what's crazy, and KJ, I'd like to get your thought on this too, is just a little bit of we kind of said during the year, I think you were 2-4 at one point. We were like, I don't know, it feels crazy. It feels like you guys are actually better than last year as a complete team, right? But you had the fumble disease there early in the game. But did you guys kind of feel that way too?
Yeah, for sure, man. It was just self-inflicted. I mean, it was in that season prior, a lot of the things that we were doing well, we weren't turning the ball over. Yeah. And, when we were having those one-score games, that winning that turnover battle was huge. And KO would show us a stat every week. I think we were undefeated when we didn't just turn the ball over. We just walked in the stadium, 0-0 in the turnover battle. Right. Just kind of had those self-inflicted, and then, we kind of started to clean that stuff up. We kind of started trending in the right direction. Like I said, we just kind of had some unfortunate injuries. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, that was super important. But I definitely think we started to trend in the right direction, and we got a good core that we like.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson was here earlier this week, too. I think it's important for them to find a way, right?
Yep.
It's hard for it to be an ascending team without the two of you and without Justin Jefferson.
I think the beauty of these are good problems to have. When you draft well and when you have a stable that's full, you're always going to have the conversation of how do we divvy up the cap, who do we keep. You'd much rather be having those conversations than saying, okay, who do we draft, who do we go find, because we don't have a stable that has players in it. So you're either going to live in one world or the other. I'd much rather live in the world of how do we keep people.
Yeah, right.
You have been quietly kind of creeping up the ranks to the most experienced and oldest quarterbacks in the NFL. You're going to be 36
You're
this
old.
year. No, that's not old. I'll take 36. Shit. But pardon me. But do you have a timeline on how many more years you want to do it?
I do think that a few more for sure. I think Tom Brady changed the conversation around. He did a lot of quarterbacks a service by playing as well as he did at 45.
Right.
Drew Brees much the same way with a surgically repaired shoulder, playing as long as he did after that. I just think it changed the conversation. And the game as a quarterback is so much up here. Certainly the physical matters, but this has to come with it. And as you play longer, this gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And so if you have this, you're a much better quarterback at 36 than at 26 because of this. So I think it bodes well for me to be able to play quite a while longer. I never want to take years for granted or assume things, so I do always kind of take a year-to-year mindset, but I see myself playing several more.
KJ, what's the biggest thing you've learned from being around a guy like Justin Jefferson?
Oh, man. That's a great question. I don't know why I thought you were about to say Kirk. I was preparing my mind for that. I mean, JJ, man. I mean, he's himself. He's himself. You know, ever since coming to the league, you know, he's been a constant pro. You know, he works hard. You know, every single day when he's out there. And no matter the circumstances, when he comes in the building, you know, he wants to play. You know, I'm very close to JJ, and JJ loves the game. JJ loves the game of football. A lot of people, he was injured, you know, with his contract and stuff. Is he going to come back? Is he going to come back and play? Is he going to sit out? I'm talking to him. JJ wants to get back on the field. JJ wants to play. Even with the contract stuff that was going on, he just wants to get out there. And I think, you know, his love for the game, you know, that makes him, you know, who he is, you know, because he's a competitor. You know, he wants to compete. He wants to get better. You know, even after having these, you know, Pro Bowl years and, you know, all pro and things like that, he still try to find ways to get better. So if one of the best receivers in our game can do it, you know, I can do it as well.
I mean, I'm excited to hear your bounty quicker picker upper. All right, I mean that's a jingle of mine growing up for sure. But I do want to get into your head coach, right? I want to get into some football here and a little bit I mean, you've been around great OCs. Yeah. You've been around Shanahan. We're going to get to that in a minute. But what's your Kevin O'Connell? What makes him tick? What's the magic? You know, about how he gets you guys open and so efficient on the offensive side of football.
Yeah, I've always said Kevin's a great football mind.
Right.
And if you want to get into deep waters talking football, he can go as deep as you want to go. So, you know, sometimes you get with a coach and you're like, okay, I kind of pushed it to the ceiling.
Right.
This is as far as we can go, and then we just have to plug the system. We're not going to keep creating after that. If you want to keep creating and have iterations and go deeper, Kevin will go every step you want to go.
Really?
Because of the way his football mind works. You know, when we beat the Niners that night, I look back on that game in an interesting way that we did it with 45 pass attempts.
Right.
You know, which you think to beat the Niners, we need to
be balanced a little.
25 pass attempts, pound the rock, you know, control the clock. We did it dropping back and throwing, and I thought, boy, that's an interesting way to go about beating the Niners.
I was shocked.
But
I think we were shocked.
It said a lot about Kevin's approach and strategy and how he was going to do it, and he's definitely gives me a lot of at-bats, if you will. He's going to give me a lot of at-bats to be productive.
He seems like Kyle in a lot of ways where he understands the rules of the defense and really knows how to attack it.
I think that's a good way of saying it. He does. He always talks defense.
You guys are run dagger, right? But then all of a sudden the 49ers, you ran two guys at the safety and somebody came underneath it. And I was like, that's dagger.
Yeah. Right. I think he created it. Kevin may have created it that week.
Yeah, he did.
Kevin created it that week, and then it goes to, okay, Kevin installed it. Now, KJ, you and I got to get on the same page because this is new.
It's new.
Make sure you take this angle, not that angle. You know, we're only watching it off of one clip. We need to understand we could get other looks, and so those are all the conversations you have with KJ, with the coaches. But
so that was new, though. That kind of stuff.
But the fact that Kevin can look at the film and say, "Hey, what if we did this?" That's where you go away from the game and you go, "That's coaching. That's strategy. That's X's and O's. That's creativity. That's thinking outside the box." And then it allows for a 20, 25-yard completion to KJ in the game.
Right.
And KJ, 4 years together now with Kirk. Are you guys at the point where you don't even have to communicate? You can almost read each other's minds and finish each other's sentences.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think especially in those 2-minute drives. You know, I know where he's coming. I know he wants to get the ball out of his hands. You know, and he's just surgical. I mean, one of the things that I say, when Kirk was playing, something different that I had seen in the other 4 years. I mean, I can just tell when he was hot. And it was so funny because he would call us all in the huddle, and he'd be saying the play so fast because he wanted to just get up to the line of scrimmage and keep playing. And keep playing, yeah. So, like, we loved it. So, like, we were coming back to the huddle fast. And, like, you know, when you have a guy like that, you know, playing that well, you know, it was great, you know, so it's been a great 4 years, and the relationship just
continues to grow. And I think that's the hard part about free agency. Because it is what you said, Mike. Yeah. It is 4 years, starting to finish each other's sentences. It took time to get there. Mm-hmm. We have that. Oh, now we're both free agents. It's like, So, you know, that's where putting that puzzle piece together is always an interesting challenge and conversation.
Well, I'm going to do my best to force the pieces together from afar. They may not listen to me. Maybe I'll need to say. Maybe I'll say do the opposite, and they'll do other than what I'm saying. But regardless, tell us what you got going on with Bounty. The Bounty brothers here.
You got a connection right here, you two.
Wingman, man.
Yeah, so you can't have football without wings, and you really can't eat wings
without Bounty.
Without Bounty. So Bounty gave us these awesome Letterman jackets.
Nice.
And they got wingman on the back because we're each other's wingman
I like
on the field and off. And so obviously, you know, Super Bowl on Sunday, a lot of Super Bowl parties.
Oh, a lot of messes.
Don't go with the old school napkin. Napkins are
not strong enough for this.
The great parties have Bounty. The great parties use the quilted quicker picker upper, as you said.
Exactly.
So that's why we're here to promote the right paper towel usage for the big game.
It's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, I grew up with Bounty. I mean, nothing soaks up like a spilled Coke better than Bounty, right? Which is definitely going to happen at everybody's Super Bowl party. All right, you two knuckleheads. You both played the Chiefs and the 49ers. You're one of the few people that could say both there. Give us a lean. Let us hear. What do you think? Let me hear it. Go ahead.
The Chiefs' defense is a different defense. We played their defense in 2019 when they won it all.
Right.
And I came out of the game going, yeah, they do some good things, but you can get after them. You know, Chris Jones is Chris Jones, but you can get after him. This year, we finished the game, I thought, that's different. And to Spagnuolo's credit, they're not the same defense as 19. It's a different scheme, different approach. He's evolved as well.
Yep.
So that was impressive, and they've shown it in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And so if they win, I do think it's the defense maybe carrying a bigger part of it than it was in 19 or in other years. They've had great success. And then my heart is kind of with the Niners just because of Kyle and my years with him and knowing that he is such a good coach and he deserves a ring. And so I'll be pulling for the Niners a little bit, but I have so much respect for both coaches, both organizations.
I'm with you.
You know, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Chiefs. I mean, they faced a lot of adversity all year long. A lot of people didn't know if they would get back to this position just because they weren't, you know, winning with dominance as, you know, you had kind of seen it in the past.
Yeah, right.
But just as any other, you know, big game, I think it'll come down to, you know, a 3-point, 10-point game, and, you know, it'll either be Mahomes having to work his magic or, you know, Purdy and, you know, his crew, you know, doing it as well. So I think it'll be a really good game, but somehow we always, you know, see Mahomes end up pulling it off.
15's going to pull it off.
We haven't had a Super Bowl blowout in a while, have we?
No, it's been a while.
And
we were just talking about this.
You watch the game, even in warm-ups, you just feel the tension around every flag, every call, every throw, every decision. You know it's going to come back.
It's monumental. Right.
Did that impact the final result?
Chiefs-Bucks was lopsided, but it didn't feel that way. It didn't feel that way, though. It felt like Patrick Mahomes was going to do everything he could.
And that was one where you felt the Bucks pass rush was able to impact the game in a way that you didn't expect, and probably because their tackles were out. But you wonder, again, can the Niners pass rush do that on Sunday?
Yeah, right.
You guys are great Bounty teammates.
Great
we want you to be teammates again, just not with a different team, please. Purple. Don't go somewhere else as a package deal. Stay put. I'm going to work on it. Ziggy. I'm going to call you Ziggy. We'll have Emmitt Smith next. He was on fire about the Cowboys. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Man, Kirk Cousins and K.J. Osborn.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.